Awesome boss, by the way, I have to make that clear. I have a set of slides. My talk is on cultivating innovation ecosystems across America. Excellent. Do I have a...
Clicker's right there.
Excellent. And by the way, this weekend, Mother's Day, so make sure to get your cards out to your mom. I got to do that after this. And to my mother-in-law, so I got both of them in here. Kaylee, don't worry, I got it. All right, that's my wife. All right, so cultivating innovation ecosystems across America. This is a pretty cool talk because this is a look at the Growth Accelerator Fund Competition pilot program that I helped initiate a few years ago for the U.S. Small Business Administration. Prior to my joining Maria's team in the OCIO shop, I was in the Office of Investment Innovation. And we asked ourselves in the Office of Investment Innovation, how do we help cultivate innovation ecosystems across America and play that crucial ingredient of cheerleading and incentivizing and cultivating and connecting the dots, because at the federal government level, we do get that bird's eye view at a 30,000 foot level. But we want to cajole them to grow organically on their own. And so what is an innovation ecosystem? You know, it is a term used to describe the large number and diverse nature of participants and resources that are necessary for innovation, right? So here in the DC metropolitan area, our innovation ecosystem is primarily the federal government. But if you look in Maryland, you've got that health life science sector. And if you go into Virginia, you've got that IT sector. So how do you get these different dispersed communities to start actually talking and cultivating more, especially that public-private partnership model? And getting these different actors to start engaging. And you're seeing this more robust conversation right off the bat. What was interesting is that, and everyone knows about this one, that it's not an ecosystem that's built overnight. It takes a long time. And we at the federal government were asking ourselves, how do we cultivate these communities of best practices around to talk and engage and grow forward? And that was the thesis for the Growth Accelerator Fund Competition pilot. It started in 2014 as an annual prize challenge competition that supports and empowers and incentivizes entrepreneurial ecosystems. It was our way of engaging with the small business growth community to actually come up with, it'll repurpose their centers of excellence in cultivating and growing forward. And what was interesting was we only had in the first year $2.5 million to play with. So we asked ourselves, all right, if I only have $2.5 million to play with, how can I maximize my bang for the buck? What we did was we opted for 50 prizes, each at $50,000. How many applications did we receive for the first year for a $50,000 prize from these economic development or support organizations? How many do people, throw a number out there? Over 1,000. We got over 1,000 applications, and I know because it was me and my 3 interns, along with my colleague Kim, who had to wade through the applications. We didn't realize we were hitting on something of much interest. And I was stunned. I was like, wait, holy crap, did we get over 1,000 applications? And we weeded out some, you know, you got some knockoffs and stuff that were fake and whatnot. But when we whittled down at the end, it was around 800 plus legitimate applications, 800 or 900 plus legitimate applications that were serious and actually did the prize challenge, which was just a 10 slide PowerPoint deck. And if you made it to the next round, you did a video pitch. So we clearly stumbled onto something interesting. And what happened is that overnight, over the next 4 years, where we had this prize challenge competition, where our budgets, you know, waxed and waned, we did $50,000 prizes, and this caught on fire. And we were asking ourselves, why are people so interested in this? Well, you know, it's just $50,000. What are you going to do with the 50K? And what a lot of folks reminded me, they said is, they didn't see the $50,000 as game changer. So there was the notion of, is it game changing, or is it just a drop in the bucket for these support centers of excellence that are merging the public-private, the venture capital, the startup eco, the co-sharing workspace, the lab to market ideation? Most of the folks saw this as a step stool. They saw it as a step stool of validation, the seal of the golden eagle. And as you can see across the map, we were hitting across the country in all these areas of interest. One of our thesis points, requirements, was you have to tap into underserved communities of interest. What was interesting was year one, we had around 44% that were focused on women's e-ship. By year 4, a lot of these orgs that were competing or recompeting, trying to get funding over the years, it went up to almost 80%, 77% focused or had a program on female leadership, which is crazy. How many of you have heard of Hello Alice, by the way? I know Alexis does. So I'll get to that case example in a second. One of the case examples we helped really seal the deal on in helping them scale up and grow was a clean tech lab, Greentown Labs. They have started off with 4 entrepreneurial clean tech companies. Today, they are over 40. They just saw in the news, was it last night, that they opened up a new facility and housing hundreds of these clean tech hardware startup engineering companies. And what's amazing is that they've grown themselves into this mega hub of excellence because of the public-private partnership model. And that 50K was instrumental in just validating, just letting folks know that they were onto something right. Same thing with the Hello Alice. Hello Alice is a platform that we initiated in helping seed finance with 50K. So Hello Alice is an AI assistant, by the way, for female entrepreneurs. It's a machine learning algorithm. And they started off as a digital accelerator program for female entrepreneurs across the US. Now they've gone global over the last 2 years. They got the 50K in the beginning from us based on just the thesis idea of something pretty interesting. That was then looked down by Dell Computers to say, hey, that's actually not a bad idea. We'll put real money into you. You've got some validation going. Let's do this. And now they've become this global phenom of an AI startup company that is a digital accelerator helping female entrepreneurs scale up and grow. And last week, Melinda Gates threw money into it and said, let's do this. So, a couple years ago, it was nothing. So what am I trying to get at with my discussion of this cultivating of innovation ecosystems in my lightning talk? Is there a secret recipe? Absolutely not. Besides hard work and long-term vision, really, I've seen over thousands of applications now, thousands of different models. Like I said, year 1, we got over 1,000 applications. I've looked at all these different models, and I've realized it's not a one-size-fits-all. It's all unique to the organics of that community, but it's got to be built on a long-term and hard work-driven vision. Impact valuation, by the way, because we did this program over the last 4 years, total of 12.15 million has been deployed out. That's chump change. That's nothing. That's the metrics I've been able to get because we do a constant surveying of the organizations, checking in, making sure they're doing it. Like I'm pretty meticulous about my stuff on this stuff. 20,000 jobs created, 5,000 startups supported. That actually is incorrect. It's actually now over $1 billion raised. The accelerators alone, 230, a little bit higher. We were hitting the rural counties of interest. It's 44% is now owned or led by women, which is separate from the other stat. So 44% was a focus of some sort. That actually went up to 70+%. But we're now hitting almost 50% of these accelerators we've helped out over the last few years to be owned or led by women. Conclusion, and this is from Ian Hathaway at the Brookings Institution. We adopted, our agency, an aggressive strategy to bolster this proliferation. He wrote this in 2016. And just with a little bit of change, a lot of creativity, and an organic play of a long-term vision, we were able to get that. So that's my talk.